How would you like to be able to solve 98% of all classic Sudokus? I will show you two amazing tricks that changed my life, and you can use them to solve the hardest puzzle of my latest pack. Click below if you want to give this puzzle a go, and with that, it's solving time. All right, you want to look where you can get the easiest solves. Let's look at the sevens here. You'll notice that with these two sevens and these two sevens, there's only one place to put a 7 in block 8, and that's right there. Greetings, friend. Bondi created all the puzzles for my latest rewards puzzle pack, including this one, which I think is the hardest. I'm going to show you two tricks I learned to be able to solve very hard Sudokus like this. First, though, you need to find all the restrictions in this puzzle. So you look at where the ones are, and there's nothing much we can do solving or marking with the ones. But if you look at the twos, you may notice that this 2 comes down column 2, and this 2 comes over row 9. So there's only two places to put a 2 in block 7. So I'm going to mark that with Snyder notation. Just mark whenever there's only two possibilities for a candidate in a Sudoku block. And these two, since they're in the same column, they act as a pointing pair, which means that a 2 cannot be anywhere else along the column outside that block. If you try to put a 2 here, here, or here, you have no place to put a 2 in block 7, which now restricts the 2s to these two spots in block 4 because of this 2 right there. And in case you're wondering about this red cell, the red cell is for my puzzle pack. So in the pack, you're helping Sherlock Holmes solve a 5-digit safe code. The red cell from this, each of the other puzzles will give you 1 digit of that code. So it could possibly be a 2. We shall see. Moving on to the 3s. There's only two possibilities for 3 in block 2. I'm going to mark that. Okay, with the 4s, we got something interesting going on here. What you might see is with this 4 and this 4 coming up, you have a pointing pair of 4s in block 1. And then with this 4 coming down, column 4, you have a pointing triple of 4s in block 8, which means the 4s are restricted to column 5 and block 8. So a 4 cannot be here or here anymore. And since you have the pointing pair and this 4 and the 4 right here, we're going to go up here in block 2. It can only go in that spot. So we can mark that. Awesome. I'm not going to mark the pointing triple because with Snyder, I only want to mark 2 possibilities for candidates. And then with these two 4s and this 4, you have Snyder 4s in block 6. Okay, look at the 5s. With these 3 5s, you got Snyder 5s in block 6, nothing else there. And then with the 6s, with this 6 cutting across row 1 and this 6 in column 8, you have Snyder 6s in a pointing pair in block 3. And then with this 6, you can put Snyder 6s in block 6. And this 6 and the 6, you got a nice pointing pair of 6s in block 8, which restricts the 6s to here in block 5. Okay, the 7s, we made them solve, but we can't do anything else there. Move on with the 8s, and you might notice that with these two 8s and this 8, you got Snyder 8s in block 4. And we got a little bit more going on here. With this 8 and this 8, you have a pointing pair of 8s in block 9. And with this 8 and the 8 right here, you can actually make a solve this cell for an 8 in block 8. And with this 8, we got Snyder 8s in block 2. And that's all we can do with the 8s. And it seems like we're going to be stuck here. And before we go looking for advanced strategies, we got to look for some pairs and triples. I'm about to show you a bonus trick. It comes up in the hardest New York Times puzzles. It's not the powerful strategies that changed my life. It is something you have to see in order to get to those two. And people may not see this because it involves looking at multiple candidates. You want to look up here in block 1. You might notice that you have a 1, 2, 3 in block 1, but you also have this 4, 8, 9 coming up column 1 that look at these 3 cells as well. And so you got to ask this question, where can the 4, 8, 9 go in block 1? Well, since they're in column 1, they can't be in these 3 cells. There's only 3 cells left. This is a common strategy trick you'll see in the New York Times hard. It's called a hidden triple. And what it does is it forces the 4, 8, 9 in these 3 cells, and so they can't be anywhere else in block 1. And nothing else can be in those 3 cells either. So this ends up having to be a 5, 6, 7 naked triple, which you may not see right away, but those are the only candidates that can be in those 3 cells. So now with this 5, 6, 7 naked triple and the 4, 8, 9 here, you can actually finish up column 1 with a nice 1, 2, 3 naked triple. And so now we kind of know what's in all of those spots. So you do want to see that. It's going to open up some more solving for us. Before I move on, I want you to know you may be able to solve very hard Sudoku like this faster than you think. You join the Smarty Party, I'll send you the rest of this pack. You can solve along with Sherlock Holmes, and you'll get a new pack each month. The real value is I include tutorial links in the pack to teach you these hard strategies. Did you know that Sudoku solvers have the same cognitive function as if they were 10 years younger? Click on the pinned comment below to join the Smarty Party today, because you want to keep your mind sharp, right? And we can do a little bit more marks here, because down with this 5 and this 5, you got Snyder 5s in block 7. I'm not going to do Snyder marks in the naked triple, because I can see that as 3 candidates. When with the 7s, now, these 2 7s, and this can't be 7s, you can put Snyder 7s in block 4. And then with this column, I'm going to show you another common trick. You may notice that an 8 and 9 are here and can't be in these cells in block 7. All right, so in column 2, an 8, 9 is right here, so they can't be in this cell. So where can the 8, 9 go in column 2? Well, they can only go in those 2 spots. So that's a hidden pair, a little harder to spot because they're not in the same block, but the 8, 9 can only be there. No other candidates can be there. So this is a nice hidden pair. You want to find this because what it does is it displaces that Snyder 4, and you actually solve this cell now for a 4. Nice. And this will allow you to have a nice 3, 4, 6 naked triple here in column 2. And so remove the 6 from there. The 4s are going to limit to these 2 spots, because you can remove the 4 from right there. And I am going to do marking because the first strategy requires some by-value cells and some marking in order to find it, and so does the second one. This is a very hard puzzle. I will show you how to get through it, though. All right, after making these marks, you might notice now, since an 8 can't be here because of this 8, it can't be there because of that 8, and it can't be here because of the 8 in column 9, you got a claiming pair of 8s. So 8s can't be in any of these spots in block 3. So you do want to mark that. And then you'll notice with this 4 here, you now create what I call a heavy house. You have 5 candidates filled out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 7. Whenever you have that situation, it is worth seeing if there's some more restrictions and some more solves we can make. So you have a 5, 6, 8, 9 remaining. With this 8, 9, that leaves that as just a 5, 6. And with the 8 right there, that's just going to be an 8. And then with this 5, 6, you can remove the 5, 6 from right there, and you can remove the 6 from right here. And you may notice that now you have a naked pair along row 3. Okay, so we have a naked pair along row 3. We do want to make a few marks and solves here. All right, because this will lead up to our first big strategy that changed my life. Okay, so this can't be a 6, this can't be a 3 or a 7. This cannot be a 6 or a 7, and this cannot be a 6 or a 7 either. All right, after finding this naked pair and making some restrictions in row 3, we want to look down column 3. And a similar trick to what we did with the 8, 9. Now notice in column 3, 7, 8, 9 are right here, so they can't go in these 3 cells. And you got a 7, 8, 9 right here, so they can't go in that cell. So the only 3 cells you can put a 7, 8, 9 are right there. This is going to lead to some more solving because you found another hidden triple. So that can be a 7, 8, 9. That can be a 7, 9. And then what does that mean for the 6s now? It means that the 6s are only going to be in these 2 spots. All right, because they can't be down here anymore. And so that's a pointing pair of 6s. It's going to allow you to solve this cell for 5, displacing that Snyder 6, and you can remove the 5 from right there. And so I have an 8, 9 naked pair. Nice. And then what else does that do for us? Well, this 6, you can displace the Snyder 6, solve for 6 right there. The 5, you can displace the Snyder 5, solve for the 5, and solve for the 4. right there. And now you see you have this 8, 9, you got this 8, 9, making some great movement here, but we're going to get to a point where we're going to get stuck again. So what else can we do with all this solving? You might notice that with these 4s, the 4s are eliminated right here because we want to get to the point where we're stuck again and we're going to need this life-changing strategy. And now with the 5s, you might notice that you have a pointing pair of 5s restricted in block 2. And with this 5 and that 5, you can actually solve for a 5 in block 7, allowing you to solve for the 5 here in block 8 down to block 7. Great. And then with this 8, 9, you create another naked pair of 8, 9. So you just have left as a 2, 5, and a 6 right here. That can be a 2, 5, and with the 5 in the column and in the block, that's going to be a 2, 6. You do need that. It's starting to set up our strategy. And now we seem almost to the point where we're going to be hard stuck. We have a few more marks we can make. You might notice that since you have an 8, 9 here, and a 9 can't be there or there, and with this 9, you can make a claiming pair of 9s in block 3. And then in column 7, you have a 4, 8, 9 right here. So 4, 8, 9 can't be in those two cells. And then the 4 with the 8, 9s up here, they can't be in those two cells. So where can a 4, 8, 9 be in column 7? These 3 cells. It's another hidden triple. This time is a 4, 8, 9. And those are in the row, so I'll remove that. You got the 4 right there, so I'll remove that. Okay, which restricts you now to a 1, 2, 6, 7. So the 7 and 6 right there, and that's a 1, 2, and this is going to be a 2, 7. Okay, we can always remove that 3 from right there because we did have a 3 there. All right, and now we're ready for that first strategy that changed my life. And I would have given up this puzzle if I didn't know it. But I know it, and now I can solve these much harder strategies. And the point that you're going to be able to solve 98% of Sudokus with this is once you understand a strategy like this one, several other advanced strategies like skyscrapers, X-wings, two-string kites, XY-wings, all are much easier to understand. So you want to check out this cell here, the 2, 6. Actually plays a very powerful role. And it's related to this cell, right? You have a 1, 2, 6 here and a 2, 6 there. And so what you might notice is that this cell sees the 2 and the 6, and they share a 6 in common. Okay, and this cell also sees these 2 cells right here. So I'm going to mark these because they have a special relationship here. You might see if this is a 1, then this cell has to be, if this is a 1, these cells are going to be a 2, 3, right? And so you can't have a 2 anywhere else along row 3. Like this cell would not be a 2. If this is a 2, this cell would not be a 2 either. And if this cell was a 6, the special cell here would become a 2, and this cell wouldn't be a 2. So in all 3 situations, no matter what the pink cell is, this cell can never be a 2. This is awesome. So when you have this situation where you have 4 candidates in 4 cells, 2 of them share a common candidate. So this is my parent, this is my spouse, and then there's 2 other cells that can contain a common candidate with the green cell. These are called the children cells. You have a bent quad, or also known as a WXYZ-Wing. And this is awesome stuff. Bonnie and I have done a few puzzles together where he put in an WXYZ-Wing. This is special to me. And what it means is you can eliminate that common candidate, in this case the 2s, from any cell that sees all of those cells. So you can eliminate a 2 from right there, and I just showed you how. And this is a very, very powerful strategy. And once you can understand this, it actually has the same name as the other powerful strategy that you'll come up more often, but it's also tricky to spot. So this is my first trick, the WXYZ-Wing. And it allows you to eliminate a 2 from right there. And so what does that do for us? Remove these colors. You'll notice that that's going to be a 2, 6 hidden pair now, because the 2 and 6 are limited to the same 2 spots. They act as a pointing pair, so you can solve this cell now for 1, and this is actually solved as a 3. I marked it as a 7. I don't know why, but I marked that. That should have been a 3. It should be 1 because of the 7's already right there. I don't know why I marked it that way. I am so sorry. All right, and so after doing that 3, you may notice now we can do a little bit more solving. Because you have a 2, 3, 6 along here. So you can remove the 1 from right there. That's going to be a 1. With this pointing pair of 2s and this 3, that's your 6, displacing, allowing you to solve for the 3 there and the 2 right there. But we are going to get stuck again. Okay, now let's look in block 7 with this 4 and a 6 there, and this 3. Now you can solve this cell for a 4, and you can solve this cell for a 6. You're going to be able to solve this cell now for a 3 in the corner. Bum, 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 and you can move a 1, 2 right there. So we know this is going to be either a 1 or a 2 in the colored cell. All right, let's see how far we can go there. You can move over to block 8, displace the Snyder 6, solve this cell for a 6, and now with these 4s, you can solve this cell for a 4. So you got an 8 there, displacing that Snyder 4, displacing that Snyder 9, displacing the Snyder 8, and you end up with a nice 1, 7 up here. And we can move the 8 from right there, and we got a 1, 9 naked pair right there. And what else can we do solve-wise? With these 3s and this 3, you can solve for a 3 right here. You're going to end up with a nice 1, 2, 9 here. This can't be a 9, and this can't be a 2. And then you got a nice 2, 7 right there. All right, and this is another important cell. This is going to be a, looks like a 2 and a 9, because you got a 2, 7, 9 along row 6. And so looks like we're going to get a little stuck again, unless you notice right here in row 1, where can the 1 be? It can be in these 2 cells right here. And then the 1s are limited to these 2 cells in row 9. And this isn't the second strategy that changed my life, but this is something, if you know these other 2, you can see something like this pretty quickly. All right, so 1s can be there and there, or there and there. This is a nice Sudoku X-Wing. And what it means is you can eliminate a 1 from this cell, right? And you can also eliminate a 1 from this cell. And this is very important to eliminate the 1 from right there. You're going to restrict the 1s to these 2 cells in block 9 and these 2 cells in block 2. Because what it does is now you made a nice bi-value cell right here, a 2, 9. And so if there's a way we can find another bi-value cell, we could set up the second strategy that's changed my life. You might notice I just put a 2, 9 right there. All right, can we connect these with one of the candidates, a 2 or a 9? That's a conjugate pair. And you sure can. Look here in column 8. You'll notice the 2s are only in 2 spots. And one of these 2 sees this cell, the other 2 sees that cell. So you have a conjugate pair that connects identical bi-value cells, in this case a 2, 9. This is a powerful strategy. It changed my life. Once I learned this, I was able to solve much harder Sudoku. So this little trick is called a W-Wing. So either this cell's a 9, and any cell that sees it can't be a 9. If it's not a 9, you notice it has to be a 2. This can't be a 2, forces a 2 right there, and then this cell would be a 9. So either a 9 is here or it's going to be there in one of those blue cells, which means we can eliminate a 9 from any cell that sees both. In this case, you can eliminate a 9 from right there. If you put a 9 there, you end up with 2s in these 2 cells, no place to put a 2 in this column. That's bad. And so this is awesome. This is going to unlock some more solving. Once I learned W-Wings, I was able to solve much harder Sudoku beyond what I could previously do. If you want to learn more about W-Wings and WXYZ-Wings, and I showed you how they're different, you can check out this tutorial. But what this does is allows you to solve this for a 9, solve this for a 1, and we're going to be able to make some more great solves here. Let's see how far we can go now. Because now this has to be a 2, and that's a 9, okay? And now you can solve that pink cell for a 1. That's what you'll carry for the digits that you need moving forward. Awesome. And now what can we do with this 1? You got 7 and a 1 right there. You got a 2 and a 7 right here, which allows you to solve this for a 9 and a 2 right there. And then you just need a 3 and a 9 here with this 9. That's going to be a 9. That's going to be a 3, allowing you to solve this cell for a 3. And we'll continue on with this 9. You know that that's an 8 and that's a 7. Awesome. This is an 8. That's a 9. Great. This is going to be a 9. That's going to be an 8. Okay, what else can we do with this 7? That's got to be a 1. And then with this 3, that's a 2. That's going to be your 5, allowing you to solve for the 2 right here and a 6 right there. And then this is going to be a 7. And this is going to be your 5. And our last digit is a 6. Now see if you can spot the WXYZ wings in this next puzzle. Thank you so much for watching.